Game Theory Class 5 Video 1. In this video we're going to begin to discuss some famous games. Famous games are games which either have some sort of historical significance, or for some reason or another they've attracted a lot of study over the years. The first game we're going to discuss is a game called The Battle of the Sexes. And the game has a story as follows. So there are two people. This is the Battle of the Sexes. Okay, so a couple has agreed to meet. They will meet for a date. Tonight. But they forgot where they agreed to meet. Okay? They forgot where they were going to meet. And they know it's either going to be a boxing match or dancing. Or a dance. Okay? Well, person one would prefer boxing, and person two would prefer to go dancing. Okay, and they would both prefer to be at the same place. Okay, this game, it was this story. It's sort of constructed before the advent of mobile phones and instant communication. So these two people, they can't just message each other and ask where they're going. For some contrived reason, they just have to choose either boxing or dance and show up at the boxing ring or the dance place. Okay, so they can't communicate beforehand. They just have to choose either boxing or dance and show up there and hope that their partner also shows up to the same place. Okay, so this is the story, and the way we turn this into a payoff matrix is as follows. Person 2, person 1. B stands for boxing, D is for dance. Okay, so person 1 would like to go boxing, and person 2 would prefer to go to the dance, but if in absence of that, they want to be with their partner. So person 2, top preference would be to go to the dance, but they would also like to be together. So I'll put a 2 there. And symmetrically, the dance outcome, it's not person 1's top choice, but person 1 is still happy because they're with their partner, like that. Okay. Whereas if you look at these off diagonal entries, like this one here, boxing dance, well, person 1 and person 2 are in different locations, so this makes them not very happy, so it's a 0-0. And this one here, person 1 and person 2 are in different locations, so it's 0-0. This is the Battle of the Sexes, and we call this the Battle of the Sexes version number 1. We call it version number 1 because it doesn't take into account the fact that in this outcome here, person 1 is actually at the boxing and person 2 is actually at the dance. They're not together, but they're doing what they like. So they're still a little bit happy. So sometimes people talk about Battle of the Sexes version 1 and Battle of the Sexes version 2. BT, where everything is the same except for that one outcome where now they're both a little bit happy. they're a little bit happy because they're doing what they want to do. They're not together, which causes them not to be like super happy, but they're a little bit happy because person 1 is boxing and person 2 is dancing. This is version number 2. Okay. Battle of the Sexes games like these are very common sort of conflict games, and in general they're hard to analyze, they're hard to solve. The issue is, in both cases, the best outcome, whatever best means, is like one of these things. These are the best. But the trouble is, they're not equally best for both people, right? Like BB, boxing, is more preferred by player 1 than player 2. Player 2 would rather have dance. So there's like a conflict of interest in which what's the best thing to do. And that makes these sort of games hard to solve in the real world. One strategy for a person stuck in this sort of situation is to commit. So one plan is to commit. To a strategy and convey that to the opponent. Well, the opponent is like your partner in this, like your wife or your husband or your partner. So one strategy is to commit and to convey that to the opponent or the other player. And what I mean by this is, for example, player 1 could just buy a boxing ticket. Then tell player 2 that they have done so. Okay? Now player 2 has a choice. Well, if player 2 knows that player 1 has already purchased a boxing ticket, okay, then the best thing that player 2 can do is also purchase a boxing ticket, because they have a choice between getting 2 and 0 in the version 1 or 2 and 1 in the version 2. Okay? So if player 2 knows that player 1 has already purchased a boxing ticket, it sort of forces them to also go boxing. Okay? But of course, this is a risky strategy, because if player 2 is also trying to do the same idea, player 2 maybe purchases a dance ticket, and then you end up at different locations, and you are not as happy as you could be. Okay? So this is the battle of the sexes. That's the end of this video.